like being this manager. Like, hold on, wait, I'm that's the guy.
I want to welcome you to another installment to the Invest Podcast. We are all new on Invest Universal, a new installment to the Invest Podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Ross. Make sure you smack that subscribe button and subscribe to Invest Universal so you can be notified every time we drop banging content. I believe this is my first time having on a recording artist, a music artist, a rapper, but he's not a rapper. I actually heard he actually refers to himself more like a rock star. I like that. I was actually introduced to a mutual acquaintance of ours, actually one of my longest friends, a guy I've known for I think 30 years, my boy Ron Ramos. My man is a recording artist with a message, trying to really make change, and he got gas, and he's dope. So the big reason I want to have him on the podcast, we didn't script it this time. We're going to go ahead and freestyle it. I feel sometime organic is best. I want to welcome my man Shamir, the stage name Legacyy, to Invest Universal and the Invest Podcast. What's going on, my man?
What's up, brother? I'm honored to be on, brother. I appreciate you having me, man.
Appreciate you doing that. Yeah, man. Originally, I just planned to sit down and just kind of talk to you, get to know you, talk about your music, your event, your album release you got coming out and all that. You would ask me, I could offer to be a vendor. And then my boy was like, you gonna shoot a podcast? I was like, nah. I said, no, why not? Let's do it. And I was like, nah, I asked you no questions to him. I was like, hey, fuck it. Let's freestyle. Let's do it. We in the booth, man. So first and foremost, man, just go ahead and introduce yourself to my viewers, to my listeners. Tell me your full name, where you're from and all that. And we'll kick this bad boy off.
So, y'all that know me from day one, man, my real name is Sam Williams. I grew up right here in Sacramento in the Roseville area. I'm from Thomas High, graduated from Roseville High 2006. My muscle name is Samir Ali, you know what I mean? So that's what God gave me the name. God wants me to walk in the light with, so that's the name I'm walking with. My stage name is Legacyy because basically that name sums it all up of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create a true legacy, not just for myself, but for the people of this planet. Because, at the end of the day, that's what's really killing our planet. It ain't got nothing to do with no global warming. It ain't got nothing to do with none of that other conspiracy stuff. No, we as human beings, as people, lost humanity. So, you know what I mean? That's why I'm honored to be on your show about investing in yourself, because I'm also a business owner myself. Me and my wife own a used car dealership. We also have a cleaning company, and we got a few other business ventures that we're stepping into with food trucks and stuff like that to give the youth opportunities to work and things like that. So, basically, that's me in a nutshell, man. I'm just trying to do my small part of humanity to make a difference, and maybe I can spark, the interest in another young man out there who has the same dream, who don't believe in himself, to go out here and go do what you need to do to make a change. God created us all for one reason, and that's to love each other and live in peace, man.
Wow. And I noticed that you like to be outside. I know you had said that kind of prior to recording. You were really adamant on recording outside and being outside. Why is that?
Well, I'm a husband and I'm a father, man. I'm a family man. So you know what I mean? My main focus in life is my children. And I feel like everybody's focus, whether you got kids or not, should be the youth. It should be children. Right. So that's why I'm outside all day long with kids, either helping them with basketball, schoolwork, whatever they're trying to do that's positive, brother, to keep them on that path, opposed to getting snatched by somebody who's trying to take them down the wrong path. I try to do my part to give them that motivation, let them know you're doing right. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm outside. This is my apartment complex. These are kids I deal with every day. This ain't no, stage scene or nothing. This is all organic. I play with these kids all day long just to help them out.
I love that, man. It's a big part of what my movement is about, my brand is about, my apparel is about, my podcast is about. It's about the growth mindset. It's about investing in one another. So you definitely fit that. Let's talk really quickly about your music journey. Have you always done music? When you decided you really wanted to do it, did your focus change? This purpose you have now, was it always your purpose in rapping, or did it change along the way? Just kind of talk to me about your path in the music business.
Well, honestly, brother, like I tell everybody, at the end of the day, I owe it all to God because he woke me up. But at the end of the day, my wife was a big factor that saved my life. From going down that dark path. And when I was going down that dark path, that's when I considered myself a rapper. I was trying to get into the hip hop scene. And there's no knock to no rappers and no hip hop artists out there, because I love all y'all for, telling y'all story through y'all way and y'all pain. But at the end of the day, I got 2 daughters. And so my mind state was, I want to make music that my daughters can listen to even when I'm gone. My grandbabies can listen to even when I'm gone. I want music my daughters can be proud to step into whatever office that they're going to get a job for when they're in school, and they can say, yeah, that's my daddy on the radio. That's my daddy playing. He's in Starbucks. No cap to my music at the end of the day. So that's why I consider myself a rock star, because that's really what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to rock the world. You know what I mean? And I mean, I might be a little selfish, but hey, I want to be a star and shine at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it seems like that name, like Legacy. So at first, when I seen your stage name, I was just trying to figure out like everybody has a reason why they call themselves something. And just now, just really talking to you and figuring out, what you're doing, not just the music, but the businesses and the entrepreneurship, how you're trying to leave something for the kids and the grandkids, things of that nature. It's just really fitting that your stage name would be Legacy, man. And it's really fitting that you're rocking the investee. I mean, my boy Ron picked that up a little while ago. You're rocking that because you definitely you fit that. So yeah. Okay, for sure, man. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about it. Like I said, when was it that you shifted? You said your wife came into your life and she really kind of changed you from going down that dark path. Because for me, I listen to all types of music. I listen to R&B, hip hop. I do listen to some rap. But the thing is, there can be some. I don't want to come out and say it and sound stereotypical. There's some negativity around it. Sometimes it's not always all positive, but it is a story. Again, many of them are sharing the story of what they kind of went through. But unfortunately, there's a lot of bad around it. A lot of rappers and stuff getting shot these days, like real talented guys.
And to cut in real quick, brother, I believe that honestly, that I don't even fault the artist for that. You know what I fault is I fault us as society, because at the end of the day, that's what we condone. So they feel like I gotta rap like that, I gotta talk like that, I gotta carry myself like that for the world to want to hear my story. That's the only way for me to get my story out. So that's why I want to be one of them people that come as a regular guy. You see me in the streets, we can have a conversation. I'm never too big for anybody, so that way artists can start really being themselves. You know what I mean? Like, if you notice, a lot of artists in the industry, they come out, they're giving the world what the world's asking for, and then they start being themselves and shining themselves. I feel like I want to break that cycle and shine myself out the gate. You know what I mean? I got a troubled past here where I've been to jail, I've been locked down, stuff like that. But when I came home, all the OGs in there told me, this ain't you. This ain't what you're made for. So I had to look deep in myself and ask myself, what am I made for? My wife told me, she's like, you're a hustler, so why don't you apply that to becoming, I'm running a 500 Fortune company. I said, man, you know what? Nobody's ever given me that kind of incentive. You see what I'm saying? Like, and to hear that from my queen, who got my best interest in mind every day, I knew that's what I had to do. So, like I said, my whole mission is, I tried to go the basketball route, didn't make it to the NBA. You know what I mean? So I was like, I know, even though I'm doing it in music, that's why I did the business first, so I could show young cats out there, hey, you could be a business owner. If you don't make it to your dream, you can still become somebody. You can make an impact in this community. You can own some of yourself. And you know what I'm saying? Besides just having to go hustle in the streets, there's other ways out here. You know what I'm saying? Time to change it.
I love that because, like, I had a guy on earlier, and I was just talking about just having like some good, solid role models, and role models meaning like we can tell the kids like, yeah, we made mistakes, yeah, we messed up, but this is what we're doing now, and we learn from it. Putting some positive options in front of them, because if all they kind of see is more like one thing, like I had my son, and at one point, he wanted to be a rapper. And at one point, maybe he still wants to be a rapper. But I was also trying to show him, make sure you have your other outlets, you have your other options, just in case that doesn't go ahead and that doesn't like work out for you. But I'm glad to see, brothers like you that's like doing positive, and you're showing the kids another way, because I'm a big believer in intake. And I believe that the things you become, your mindset and things like that, have a lot to do with what you see and what you listen to, and who you're around. So people call it different things. Some call it environment, some call it nutrition, but I call it intake. Even myself, bro,
Like
in the
that.
past probably year and something since I really started my brand, I started my business, I started to be very, very careful about my intake, like who's around me, who am I talking to every day, who I'm answering the telephone for, what is the intake I'm getting from dealing with those types of individuals. So it's good to have that positive. We want to piggyback on that really quick about intake and these kids getting good intake.
I really do, because that was the major shift too. Is unfortunately, and I still love them till the day I die. You know what I mean? I want nothing but the best for them. There's some people in my life who've been in my life for a long time, and I had to start basically not so much cut them off, but just start moving, slowly, gradually away from them, and focusing on myself and surrounding myself with people that are in the same direction, trying to walk in the same light, and trying to make the same changes I am. Like my beat maker, you know what I mean? He's out of Vegas. His name is Umu Beats. You know what I'm saying? I got him right here. That's the man right there.
Right. All right.
That brother Samoan, you know what I mean? He's an islander, so he brings a whole different feel to what I'm trying to do with my music. So that's why I told him I chose him, because you one of the one beat makers I know that can actually tell a story through your beats. You see what I'm saying? So you make it that much easier for me to relay my message, because you already draw them in their hearts with your beats. So then when I come put the words on there, it's like, you know what I mean? Almost like gospel, spoken word. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Straight
so,
up.
but like I said, I mean, I wouldn't be walking in this light if I was continuing to keep people around me who didn't want the best for me, like Ronnie. You see what I'm saying? Like, I love Ronnie to
Dude.
death because Ronnie don't got to do nothing that he's been doing for me. But because we got our history, he want to see me win because he knows I'm going to try to help others win. That's the kind of people you got to keep yourself surrounded with, like yourself. That's why I jumped on this and I took the opportunity right out the gate. Because what you're doing, and with the platform that you're standing on, brother, you have no idea. You are a hero to a lot of us out here
Thank
who's
you.
trying to make a difference. You see what I'm saying? The ones
Yeah,
that want to
thank
be
you.
superheroes, you really are a hero to us because you're giving us that opportunity to speak our voice out there. You know, Sacramento's small, not too many people look over here. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? So, and that's why I wanted to be the first, besides everybody else that I deal with, to jump on this so I could, you know what I mean, inspire them to come tap in with you and give their message. Because they got a different crowd of people that they deal with that they need to touch. And maybe they can't tell them face to face, but if they say it in this kind of platform and people get to go listen to it on their own, it'll really spark something.
Man, you know, I really hate bringing it up, but we're living in just probably I'm 38, probably living in probably the craziest time that I can ever remember with everything that happened with the COVID and just with the gun violence, the shooting just everywhere that's going on, man. What do you think is really fueling I mean, we've always had violence, but it just seems like right now things are just super duper violent. What would you say is fueling that? I mean, it is the music. Do you think people are just depressed from COVID? Is it just mental illness? I mean, just stuff's happening left and right. I just looked and seen there was another big shooting this weekend. I believe it was out there in Tennessee.
Honestly, brother, I think it's because people don't have enough courage to swallow their pride, and they're trying to impress people and impress the wrong people. And that's why people are quick to go pick up a gun instead of being like, hey man, like, this is my difference, what's your difference, let's talk about this, put this on the table and move forward and see if we can build from this. Opposed to that, you want to go reach for a gun, take somebody's life just to prove to everybody else like he's not going to disrespect me. But what you're not realizing is, not only did you take that man's life, you took your own. You see what I'm saying? Whether you get caught for it or not, I say you took your own life because God don't sleep. He sees everything. You just killed one of his children. You see what I'm saying? So everybody out there who's got a family member, this and that, the way you feel when one of your family members dies, just think that's what you're doing to your creator every time you take out a life out of you.
So what I want to say too is we were talking earlier, and something that you're looking to do is you're really looking to try to do your part. I can't say to stop, but just your part to try to curve it a little bit in the community. And I know we had talked, and that you're going to be having an album release, like an event coming up really, really soon in the Sacramento area. I believe maybe you're looking at some time in the middle of July. But there's a special cause for it, and you're actually trying to raise money for a special cause and having the vendors out and stuff like that. I'm not going to talk. I'm going to let you go ahead and talk about that. But I kind of heard about it yesterday, and I was like, whoa, I'm really feeling that. And I'm also happy I got invited to be a vendor out there as well when I was told, a portion would go toward this cause. And I was like, let's go ahead and let's do it. Let me do my part, and I'll definitely be out there. But let's talk about that really quickly, man, because that's a hell of a cause.
So I mean, it's really, really simple, brother. Like, at the end of the day, we've all seen the cries, we've all felt the pain. Even if you're not in that state, you're not in that city, you have a child, you got a loved one that's a child. It hurts you and affects you when you see these innocent children don't make it home from school, and that's the parents' worst concern. I got 2 daughters myself that I take care of day in and day out. I live for. You see what I'm saying? And if my daughter didn't make it home because of another child being bullied and somebody didn't do something just to stop that or make a difference, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm only human. Ain't no telling what I do. So before I make another parent have to feel that pain again, you see what I'm saying? I'm gonna do my small part. And my album release is going to be more so like a carnival. It's a family get-together. There's no alcohol being served there. There's no smoking allowed. You see what I'm saying? Any music that's going to be performed there, it's all family music. It's nothing that has to do with inciting anybody to be upset, angry, nothing like that. It's all about positivity and love. And like you said, I mean, all my ticket sales that I receive, and then the 10% portion that I'm going to take from each vendor is not going in my pocket. Like I said, I'm a business owner. I invest in myself. Like, I don't need money from the rest of the community to build up my own platform. No, I'm doing it for a bigger cause. So every piece of income that we come in and all the profits are going to go into a funding that me and my wife are going to try to orchestrate to where we can give employment to retired police officers, basically to secure elementaries and middle schools, only because I mean, you could bring a security guard. You could even arm, teachers and stuff like that. But let's be real. Police officers, their job is to protect and serve in the community.
Right.
They're well known in the community for that. You see what I'm saying? So whether they're retired or not, most of these kids don't understand that, especially at my daughter's age and stuff like that. They just see, hey, he was a police officer who got a badge. He might not have his badge on right now, but he got a badge. So before I think about bringing a gun or anything to school and doing anything crazy, I got a police officer walking around my campus all day, every day. And he's trained to look for those signs in children and adults and visitors, anything. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, it gives a retired officer also the opportunity to continue protecting and serve. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to go out here and put yourself in harm's way and danger 24/7, but you can do the greatest protection that a person has on this planet, protecting our youth, our future.
Definitely. I believe even people knowing that you got a retired cop, police officer on the premises may even deter, some of the people from doing some of the things that they are doing. I believe that some of these events and some of these incidents, maybe not all of them, but I believe some of them could have been more preventable by having a police type force definitely on campus. We'd have seen just a lot of tragedies. So your new album that you got coming out, man, let's just talk about that really, really quickly. What's it about and what you're talking about on it? I mean, I know it's a lot of positivity, but give us some previews on it, man, because I heard you, man. You got some gas, man. You got talent, brother.
So what I'm doing for the world before that album release party, I'm not going to leave y'all waiting too long. I'm going to release an EP, and the name of the EP is going to be called EULA, EULA. And so basically that abbreviation is Evolution Under the Law of Attraction. But it's got a deeper meaning. That's also my grandmother's name that I lost in December 2020 to COVID. So I know there's a lot of people around the world that can feel that pain. So that's why my EP is labeled after that. I got a song on there called Respawn. The video game Call of Duty. Basically, the direction of that song is I wish I could respawn and go spend a moment in time with my grandma. You know what I'm saying? And get some advice from her, get some love, just hold her one more time. I got a few other songs on there. I got a banger coming with my beat maker called Emotionalist. And that was a shout out basically to him. It's about being emotional. You know, it's called emotional. I'm sorry. It's about being emotional, but I named it Emotionals to show people hey, when you're working with somebody, you respect somebody's craft, their talent, man, give them their credit where credit's due. You see what I'm saying? Stop overlooking these beat makers oh, that's all you do is press buttons and that's all you're good for. No, give them their credit. So instead of emotional, it's named Emotional after Umo Beats, baby. You know what I'm saying?
That. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's the way that I'm moving, man. And I got a few other hits on there too. And one of the big ones is called Girl Dad, which is going to be an anthem. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm a girl dad myself, so I'm not speaking on something I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And it's also a tribute to Kobe and Gigi. You see what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. All my music that you're about to hear, brother, just like my first single, I'm trying to make anthems, not songs.
Bang, yeah. Anthems are things that they last, for years. They're generational songs. You're it came out 10 years ago, 20 years ago. That's knocking. That's the anthem. That's a banger. Before I let you go really, really quickly, man, and everything that you stand for, what would be your parting words just to try to just say something really quickly just to the youth, just to our generation about, not always just being so quick to pick up that pistol and ending somebody's life. So me, when I was a kid, bro, we went to, house parties and things of that nature. And every now and then we'd get in some ruckus, but it was more like the fist fighting type stuff. Cause I was going to house parties in the late 90s and the early 2000s where we got in a lot of fights, a lot of fist fights, sometimes you won them, sometimes you didn't, but we throw in the hands. But what would it be right now, man? It's just these kids, 14, 15, 16 years old. I got a son, a teenager, bro, you can absolutely not go to a house party. And he says, well, Dad, I heard, Grandma told me all the parties you went to when you were younger, but I bet you she also told you that times were a lot different than they are now. I sent my son to a house party. I'm like, man, there's a probability my son might not be coming back alive just because the times we live in, man. It's just no fights, just straight shoot them out. It's just crazy. So what would your words be, man, to these kids? Because then, you said, you pull that trigger, bro, you pulled that trigger, your life's over. Chances are you pulled that trigger at a party, God seen it, and then there's probably some witnesses that seen it too, so he gonna get you, and then the police gonna get you too, and your life's that's over, it's done in that split second, just because you couldn't take Joe, he disrespected me, he called me out of my name. It's just I try to tell my son, I'm like it's not worth it, son. It's just it isn't. You get that one, and then And when you
I
sitting
mean,
there in prison, man, ain't nobody gonna care once you went, in there 5, 10, 15 years. Who you killed? You just
it's simple, brother. Like I said, I mean, my message is the same as Nip's was. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, let's stop being crabs in a bucket and trying to take each other out and build each other up. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I was taught, as you know what I mean, as a young boy, and I still struggle with it today, but it keeps me kind of sane and keep me walking. And it takes more energy out of you as a human being to hang on to that anger and to go get a pistol and do that than just to laugh and walk off.
right.
It's that simple.
Definitely.
It's that simple. You know,
Definitely.
I mean, we was all taught it as kids. Like, when you walk away and a person's still screaming, yelling at your back, they look crazy. They look stupid. They look dumb. You look like the bigger person. So at the end of the day, it's something, like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm not you know what I mean, saint or nothing out here. I still get angry, but I try to remind myself of that. My wife tries to keep me grounded. Ronnie tries to remind me of that. Like, hey, bro, it takes more energy just to get yourself worked up and get all mad and do all that screaming. Just laugh that off and walk off and go continue enjoying your life.
I think that's part of just growing up and just part of just maturing. I got people and they say, "Oh, I remember you was like this back in the day. You was like that back in the day." It's like, man, don't get me there. I'm in another life. Like even myself, I still got my temperaments, things of that nature, but I've just grown so much as a person and just know I have so much good and so much positive to give. I really just try to stay away from the bad and the negative situations just as much as I can. I try to not go to negative places, places where, negative people are going to be at that time. Hey, I might not want to go. I ain't tripping. I ain't scared, but I might not want to go over there just because I get in that fucking mindset. I get in that.
I mean, it's just as simple as, none of y'all would go run and jump off a cliff because you know your life going to be over, right?
Right.
So why go run and put yourself in a predicament or go surround yourself around people that you know don't have a care for life? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's sad to say, but let them take each other out. Don't go add yourself to that fire. You know what I mean? In that mix. If they're going to do that, they're going to take themselves out. They don't want to change. Let them be them. You can't change everybody. Just change yourself. That's all that matters. If you change yourself and you start walking in the light, you're gonna spark the interest of somebody else, or you inspire somebody else to do the same thing. And before you know it, it's just like paying it forward. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, my message to everybody is stop caring what everybody else got to say about you. You see what I'm saying? This bullying stuff, like, who are you to judge and talk about anybody else when you ain't perfect yourself? We all got our vices. We all got our demons. And instead of being another demon to your human fellow neighbor, man, try to be an angel and a light in his life. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do I say it? When we leave here, it ain't about how much money you make. It ain't about how many people you knocked off, how many bodies you got. No. How many lives did you impact, did you change? How many people are still talking about your name once you're gone in a positive light because you did something for more than just yourself? That's why Nipsey became a king. That's why Kobe was a king. Because even though they focused on their talent and their craft, they used that to build a platform in order to spark, you know what I mean, the light in other children and the youth and the future of this world. That's why they're so heavily respected. Their names will never die. Even though they ain't gone, their names will never die because of all the lives they touch. They touch my life. So I'm going to keep speaking on them. You see what I'm saying? Like, and it's that simple.
They're going to be around forever, man. Before I let you go, man, it was a pleasure getting you on, man. Definitely real deep on this freestyle kind of podcast. We ended up putting a good one together. Before I let you go, man, shout out your social media, shout out your Instagram and stuff like that so people can follow you and really join this movement, man. This movement is dope. Let's keep it growing. Shout out to the IG, brother.
Hey, it's at official Samir 916. Once again, at official Samir SAMIR 916. Man, tap in there. You can see my music page. You can see my website. Everything. You know what I'm saying. And the most important thing for me is who I'm doing it for. This is my oldest daughter, Mira. This is my baby Amina. That's my goddess that saved my life.
All right. Family, man. I love it, bro. I want to say thank you again coming on. I look forward to being a part and vending your album release, your kind of like carnival event. I'm looking forward to that. Definitely, let's rock it. And we're going to have you back on the podcast soon. And we'll chat, brother. Thanks again. Take care.
Hey, I love you, baby. I appreciate you.
You too, brother.